Oh my gosh, is this thing ever gonna go back together again, right? Now that the head is out at the shop to get refinished, we have a lot of work to clean this up, and I've got lots of parts to replace that were broken coming off. So what we're gonna do is clean this up, and let me show you what I'm talking about. This compressor for the air conditioning is just covered in gunk. Obviously the block has to be clean enough to eat off of in order to remate the head. We've got to remove this pin here and just in general get all this crap off. I need to see what needs to be replaced or redone. I mean, these hoses, this one has a big bubble in it. That's gonna obviously have to be replaced, and that's just one of probably 25 hoses that are just bad and need replacement. So we've got a lot of work to do here. And luckily we're gonna have some time to do it because it's gonna take some time for them to get the head finished. And so, well, but I'm just procrastinating because honestly, I don't feel like doing this, but you know, cleaning is cleaning. This whole front of this engine here is an absolute mess. So we're gonna get to it. Now I'm gonna have to clean the surface of this really well, but that is not something that I'm gonna do right at the moment. I wanna clean up the rest of this engine so there's less chance of any kind of unintended dirt or whatever getting in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape off the head and cover up all these holes to keep anything from getting in it and clean everything else first before we get to this piece right here. So that's the plan. All right, that's about as good as we're going to be able to get. May not stay on there as well as we would hope, but the goal is to keep as much out of the engine as we possibly can, and that should get the job done. My quest for a clean engine, this fan has to come out, and I don't have a big enough bolt or the right tool, so we're just going to remove the water pump instead, which probably needs to be cleaned and checked and everything else. So it only makes sense that we're just going to do it. There really isn't any sense in putting the heads back on this car. Since I don't know where it came from, we want to make sure that everything that we can do to guarantee that this thing is going to run, well, we're going to do it. We're going to do everything that we can do to make sure that all the parts that could fail are going to be replaced or refinished or clean. Wouldn't want to not cover every square millimeter of the water pump with bolts. That would just be stupid. If one bolt fails, there's 27 others. The shocking thing is the damn thing still leaks. How can you put 27 some bolts on a damn water pump that's the size of a grapefruit and it still leaks? Making parts that last forever, they do very well. Making seals that last 5 minutes, not so much. I mean, I think these things leak when they drive them off the lot. This would be a lot easier if the fan wasn't here. Fortunately, the fan is what I'm trying to get rid of. In an attempt to take the fan off, I tried to take the water pump off. Realized, of course, that there's a bolt about every ½ inch on this, and one that you just can't possibly get to because of brackets and this and everything else. So I'm gonna kind of put some bolts back into the water pump to make sure that I don't destroy the bolt that actually is still in there, and then we're going to take this fan off somehow. That's the plan, at least. The reason why I'm snugging up the alternator is because I want these belts to be as tight as possible. Give me the best chance of breaking this bolt loose without having to have any special tools or anything like that. So we're just gonna snug this up a little bit, and that's better than it was. Now I've hit a point where I've tried to take this fan off multiple times in multiple ways just to avoid getting the stupid tool. Now, I can order this stupid tool for $15 on Amazon, or I can go to my local auto parts store and pay a little bit more. You know, the flip side of not doing that is, okay, I save a little bit of money, but I could strip the bolt and I could bust the water pump. There are a million and one things that I'm at the point where I just don't care. I just want the fan off. So yeah, I broke down and I went and I got the stupid tool, the BMW fan clutch tool. And you know what? I feel horrible for having gone and spent money for a specialized tool like this, but 30 seconds after that bolt is off, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna move on with my job. So sometimes your own mental well-being is more important than the 20 bucks it costs for the stupid part. Just keep that in mind. The one nice thing about a large percentage of this car is that everything is so coated with oil that it seems to just kind of come off. It's at this point of any project, and I'm not a professional mechanic, I've done head jobs 2 or 3 times in my life, and by no means an expert, and I've certainly never done it on a BMW. So it's kind of at this point where you hit that depression and panic of your project, because you just realized that you are not going to be able to drive this car next week. It's not a simple fix. It's something that's going to take a little bit of time to work through, and that can be really depressing. There's also that immediate panic of knowing that, is this thing ever going to go back together again right and run? And believe me, as a non-mechanic, that's my first thought in the back of my head. I need to get the head back as soon as I possibly can, so I don't forget where all the bits and pieces go. So this is a really, really stressful time in the entire process. And I'm gonna use that time to let you know that it happens to all of us. We all have that panic moment. And if you're not confident about being able to put everything back together, don't worry about it. There's help out there. There's forums for just about every car. There are local car shows where you can go and meet people who wrench on cars all the time, may have done the same job, or may be interested in just helping you do the job that you're trying to do. There are manuals out there. There's all kinds of YouTube videos like the ones that I'm creating to hopefully help guys like you who are interested in starting to wrench on cars to just do it. But you're gonna hit this panic moment, and all I can say is, use this time to go ahead and do the little things in the engine bay that need doing. This car is 28 years old, so it's gonna need just about every vacuum hose completely replaced. It's filthy in there. It's been leaking oil since time began, so it's going to need to be thoroughly cleaned and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna remove a lot of the other accessories off of the engine. We're gonna clean everything up. I also have easier access to the top of the transmission tunnel with the head out, and the engine's lighter, so I might be able to drop the transmission down a little bit and take care of a really, really squishy shifter that's happening. So those are the kind of jobs that I'm going to do while the head is out getting refinished. And then when it gets back, well, then we'll worry about that. But for now, don't panic. There are lots of other jobs. I can tell you right now, things will get a lot worse before they get better on this build right here. If you want to make sure that you don't miss what happens next, why not subscribe to the channel and maybe throw a thumbs up on this video. It really does help the content to reach a wider audience, which is really helpful. If you're asking yourself why we do this, well, it's only for the love of cars, because God knows this thing isn't really worth much money. But we are having fun doing it, and I cannot wait to drive this thing. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen eventually. So for everybody out there, make sure that you go ahead and drive your car, have some fun, and I'll see you in the next one.